Each fraction strip is one whole. All the fraction strips are equal in length. Color one fractional unit in each strip, then answer the questions below. I want to go a step further, and I want us to label each unit fraction. So, Charisma, if I look at this whole piece, how many parts or equal pieces is it partitioned into? Two. So you know each one is what fraction? Charisma. Give me a fraction. What fraction would we write here? 1/2. What would we write here? Okay, do that. Each individual piece is 1/2 because that whole is divided or partitioned into two equal parts. And then it said just color one fractional unit in each strip. So we'll just shade in this one. And it does not have to be perfect, because all we're going to do in just a minute is use these that we're shading or coloring to compare fractions. If you have your own crayon, that's fine. Okay, Rain, look at the next whole piece. How many equal parts is it partitioned into? 4. So what's each unit? 1/4. Go ahead and label each unit fraction as 1/4 of the whole piece, and then color one of those pieces. Just one of them, because we're just going to be comparing the units today. Quentin, look at the third whole piece. Notice that my whole pieces are all exactly the same length. I just have them partitioned into different amounts. How many does this, or is this one partitioned into? Each unit is 1/8, but what is it partitioned into? How many equal parts? 8. Okay. So each one, I've got 8 equal parts, and then if I label my unit fraction on this whole piece, each one would be 1/8. Listen carefully to the questions that I ask, and then just kind of shade in one of those fractional parts. Danny, look at the next whole piece. How many equal parts is it partitioned into? 3. So each unit would be what fraction of the whole piece? 1/3. And then shade in your first little whole, piece, or your fractional unit of that whole. And Kanye, look at the last whole strip. How many equal pieces is it partitioned into?
1/6.
No, how many equal pieces is it partitioned into?
Equal pieces.
6. Now, tell me the unit fraction for each piece. 1/6. Go ahead and label the unit fractions. I want you to get used to seeing that it takes 6 1/6 pieces or 1/6 units to equal one whole piece. And it doesn't matter if you're using the fraction strips or if you're using the circles on like we have on the board. Okay? Okay, Trinaya, read number 2 to me. Whisper. Now, we're not going to whisper the complete sentence. We're just talking about it as a whole group. So we're going to circle less than or greater than. Go ahead and circle your instructions on there so you'll know what you're doing. Now look at A. 1/2 is less than or greater than 1/4. So look at the unit pieces that you shaded on your paper. Look at the unit pieces you shaded. Okay. Is 1/2 less than or greater than 1/4? Tell me, Charisma. Is 1/2 less than or greater than 1/4? Look at the size of 1/2 and look at the size of 1/4. It's definitely greater. I would definitely rather have a half of a piece of pizza than a fourth of a piece of pizza. Can't talk today. Because a half is greater. Okay? So 1/2 is greater than 1/4. And look up here at what you colored. I'm just going to put these up here so you can see a little bit bigger fraction strip. Look at B. You're going to be comparing 1/6 and 1/2. Hayden is 1/6, so here's 1/6, less than or greater than 1/2. Is 1/6 less than or greater than 1/2? Look at the size of that unit. Less than. And if you're using yours, there's 1/6, there's 1/2. Okay, it's definitely less than. All right, Marisol, we're now going to compare 1/3 and 1/2. So Marisol, it says 1/3 is less than or greater than 1/2. You can look at your fraction strips, or you can see 1/3 and 1/2. Whoops. It is less than 1/2. Good. The 1/3 unit is shorter than that one, so that makes it less than. Okay. Quentin, on D, is 1/3. There's 1/3. Here's your 1/3. Where is it? Is 1/3 less than or greater than 1/6? Greater than. Good. You're looking at the size of the piece. The more you partition a whole piece, the smaller the pieces are going to get. Horace, we're looking at 1/8 and 1/6. So it says, is 1/8 less than or greater than 1/6? There's 1/8, there's 1/6. Compare those. It is less than, definitely. Jatavion, 1/8 is less than or greater than 1/4. Less than. And you can see it here too. 1/8 is less than 1/4. Just looking at those colored pieces that we colored a minute ago. All right, Jasleen, 1/2 is less than or greater than 1/8. Greater than, definitely. And they're going to throw in a tricky one because that's not up here. So look at this. 9/8. I don't have 9/8 just to show you. Is less than or greater than 2/2. All right, let's think about this for a minute. At the beginning of the lesson, when we were sorting out those fractions into greater than a whole and less than a whole, I said if your numerator is bigger than your denominator, you are talking about more than one whole. Okay? If your numerator and denominator are exactly the same, we've already learned that that's equal to one whole. Okay? So if this is got a bigger numerator, that means it's a fraction greater than a whole. So Trinaya, is 9/8 less than or greater than 2/2? It's greater than because it's more than a whole. Okay? And that's kind of a challenging question. That's what we're building up to. You have to know that 2/2 equals 1 whole piece. Okay? And you have to know that when you have a fraction that has a larger numerator, you're talking about more than 1 whole piece. So if this is just 1 piece and this is more than 1 piece, then you definitely know that 9/8 is greater than 2/2. Turn your paper over. Lily needs 1/3 cup of oil and 1/4 cup of water to make muffins. So there's your oil, there's your water. Okay? Will Lily use more oil or more water? Explain using pictures, numbers, and words. So what's she going to use more of? Oil or water, Danny? Okay. She's going to use more oil. So let's write, she will use more oil. There's my words. It says explain using pictures. RDW is what it's been all about this year. Read it, draw it, write it. So I want you to draw 1 hole on top. That represents the oil. I want you to draw the exact same size up under it. That represents the water. How many equal parts will we partition the oil into? Tell me, Rain.
1/2.
How many, Marisol? Look at that fraction and look at the denominator. How many equal parts is it telling me to partition that into? Absolutely. So let's do 3 equal parts. There's a third, there's another third, and there's another third. Shade 1/3 of that because that's what she uses oil to make her muffins. Jasleen, how many equal parts do we partition the water into? Look at your fraction of water that we use and look at your denominator. How many equal parts is it telling me to partition it into? Jasleen, look at your denominator. How many parts is it telling me to partition it into? Yes. And each unit would be 1/4 of the whole. Shade in 1/4 because that's the water used. Now we've got the model proving that we used more oil. We've got our numbers written as fractions inside each part that we partitioned. And now I want to do the greater than, less than, equal to signs that y'all have done since like kindergarten. So let's write 1/3. Draw you a circle because we're going to compare these numbers or these fractions. And 1/4. Okay? And we've already said that 1/3 is greater than 1/4. So where does the alligator mouth open to? 1/3. Think back to kindergarten. That's why they teach it to you then. So you'll remember it now. Bless you. Okay?
But don't let it confuse you.
Don't let it confuse you. Okay? All right. The next says use greater than, less than, or equal to compare. These you don't have that model to look at. You've got to think about what we've done in the past. You can find your fraction strips in your journal. So take out your journal if you have it handy. This is why it is so important that y'all get these journals and keep up with them. We did this a long time ago. Okay? By now, we've pretty much talked about all of these. In your journal, I want you to find 1/3, and put your finger on 1/3 and 1/5. And just look at the unit fraction. Trinaya, is 1/3 greater than, less than,